The first time I ever went swimming with a whale that was singing, it's an incredible experience. It's completely shattering. It feels like when you get close to one that something has put its hands on your chest and is shaking you until your teeth rattle. My first thought was, I wonder if I can stand this. I wonder if this is actually going to kill me somehow.
There she blows. A whale sighted, the harpoon grenade is fired.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, nobody, as far as I could tell, knew much of anything about whales. There was no whale watch industry. There was no Save the Whales movement.
Usually the first shot means death to the whale. In the old Moby Dick days, harpoons were hand-hurled at the monsters. The modern way is far more humane.
A few people knew that whales were being overhunted, and frankly, whales were going extinct. It was just a big money-making proposition.
The entire whaling industry is worth £100 million a year. Russia and Japan are the two big whaling nations, and some of it goes to those two countries for food.
It was back in 1967 about that I met a fellow named Frank Watlington, who became a great friend, and he played a sound to me of humpback whales. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard from nature. And slowly, I realized, oh my God, this thing repeats itself. So when an animal repeats itself and does it in a rhythmic fashion, you say, by definition, that it's singing, whether it's a bird or a frog or a cricket or a bat or a whale. You might get a sound, for example, that goes Now, if you listen over several years, you'll hear the rhyme at the end of it that was maintained. And that will stay in the same place among all the other themes in the song. And so it tells you the whale has kept the rhyme. I was out in San Diego one time visiting a friend of mine, and I played him whale sounds, and he was fascinated by them. And I said, I've always wanted to make a record of these, David. And he said, we'll make it. And so we sat down and we made a record. And we then wrote a booklet that went with it and talked all about whales and their plight and what was going on and so forth. I think it remains the most successful natural history recording ever made. Then, whole bunches of people in several countries began making organizations to save the whales, and the Save the Whales movement was born, and in many ways that was sort of the beginning of the conservation movement. The whales gave the whole idea of conservation wonderful exposure.